Solomon Mujuru, known during Zimbabwe's liberation struggle as Rex Nongo, was a towering figure in the nation's history. A guerrilla commander turned military leader whose influence shaped the country's path from colonial Rhodesia to independent Zimbabwe. His death in a mysterious fire on August 16, 2011, at his Beatrice farm, just 60 kilometers south of Harare, has long been shrouded in controversy. Officially ruled an accident by a 2012 inquest, the incident bears all the hallmarks of a political assassination, orchestrated within the fractious corridors of ZANU-PF to eliminate a potential threat to Robert Mugabe's enduring rule. This episode delves into Mujuru's life, the suspicious circumstances of his demise, and why it exemplifies Mugabe's alleged pattern of eliminating rivals and allies alike, drawing on historical precedents like the Gukurahundi massacres and the deaths of Herbert Chitipo and Josiah Tongagara. Born in 1945, Solomon Mujuru emerged as a pivotal player in Zimbabwe's fight against white minority rule in the 1970s. As a commander in Zanla, the armed wing of ZANU-PF, he defected from Zipra Zapu's military arm in 1971, bolstering Zanla's capabilities at a critical juncture. His strategic acumen was evident in key operations, but perhaps his most enduring contribution was in 1977, when he persuaded Zanla colleagues to accept Robert Mugabe as leader, catapulting the future president to prominence amid internal divisions. Without Mujuru's endorsement, Mugabe's ascent might have faltered, highlighting the deep, yet ultimately fraught, alliance between the two men. Post-independence in 1980, Mujuru's stature only grew. He became the first black commander of the Zimbabwe National Army, integrating former guerrilla forces into a unified military. Retiring in 1992, he transitioned into politics and business, amassing wealth with Mugabe's tacit approval, which allowed him to expand his empire into mining and farming. As a ZANU-PF Politburo member, Mujuru advocated for leadership renewal, positioning himself as a kingmaker. His crowning move was backing his wife, Joyce Mujuru, for vice presidency in 2004, setting her up as a potential successor to the aging Mugabe. This moderate stance, including calls for dialogue with the opposition movement for democratic change, MDC, made him a bridge builder in a party rife with hardliners. Mujuru's life ended abruptly in a blaze that engulfed his farmhouse. The official narrative, delivered by a March 2012 inquest, deemed it an accidental fire with no foul play. Mugabe himself later suggested Mujuru's careless smoking was to blame. Yet, this explanation has been vehemently contested by family, observers, and scholars, who point to glaring inconsistencies that scream political foul play. Oxford professor Blessing Miles Tendi, in his book The Army and Politics in Zimbabwe, Mujuru, the Liberation Fighter and Kingmaker, argues the fire was no ordinary accident. No DNA testing confirmed the charred remains were Mujuru's, and the state hastily buried him, potentially contaminating the scene. Security lapses were inexplicable. Mujuru's VIP protection unit, stationed at the farm for years, claimed to notice the fire only at 1:40 a.m. and failed to intervene effectively. They couldn't justify not breaking windows or locating his well-known bedroom to rescue him. The farmhouse itself, a sturdy brick structure with an asbestos roof formerly owned by white farmer guy Watson Smith, was inherently fire-resistant. It featured multiple exits, 3 doors and 4 double windows in the master bedroom. making it improbable for a battle-hardened veteran like Mujuru to be trapped. Joyce Mujuru, his widow, has publicly doubted the official account, echoing widespread suspicions of state orchestration. At its core, Mujuru's death was profoundly political, tied to ZANU-PF's brutal succession battles as Mugabe, then 87, clung to power. Mujuru's influence threatened factions led by Emerson Mnangagwa, now president, and Constantino Chiwenga, who viewed him as an obstacle to their ambitions. His support for Joyce's presidency directly blocked Mnangagwa, while personal grudges amplified tensions. Tendi alleges Chiwenga harbored resentment over an purported affair between Mujuru and Chiwenga's wife. Former Finance Minister Tendai Biti of the MDC claimed the death bore ZANU-PF's fingerprints, framing it as part of an internal purge over Mugabe's succession. Mujuru's calls for renewal, including urging Mugabe and Joshua Komu to retire decades earlier, had alienated hardliners. As a moderate pushing for MDC engagement, he challenged Mugabe's authoritarian grip, making him a liability in a system reliant on military loyalty. While no smoking gun directly implicates Mugabe in ordering the hit, for this could be very careless of him, his particular remark after the death and his leadership style, marked by ruthless elimination of threats, fuel credible allegations of involvement. Mugabe's reluctance to plan succession suggested he tolerated, if not encouraged, actions against perceived rivals. Intriguingly, just before Mujuru's death, Mugabe inexplicably barred Joyce from traveling abroad, raising questions about foreknowledge. The military's role, under figures like Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, who later cou'd Mugabe in 2017, points to a broader apparatus of control where Mugabe was the ultimate beneficiary. This pattern is not isolated. Mugabe's history is littered with suspicious deaths and mass killings of opponents and allies. In 1975, ZANU chairman Herbert Chitipo was assassinated via car bomb in Zambia. While officially blamed on infighting, Mugabe benefited immensely, rising amid the vacuum. Critics argue he orchestrated it to consolidate power. Zambian inquiries pointed to ZANU divisions, but post-independence, Mugabe accused Zambia's Kenneth Kaunda of complicity, deflecting scrutiny. 4 years later, Josiah Tongagara, Zanla's charismatic commander and potential rival, died in a car accident days after the 1979 Lancaster House Agreement. Tongagara's popularity and disagreements with Mugabe at the talks sparked enduring suspicions of foul play. His bodyguards later died mysteriously, and activists still demand inquiries. Mugabe's swift rise to prime minister followed, unencumbered by Tongagara's shadow. The most damning is Gukurahundi, 1983 to 1987, where Mugabe deployed the North Korean-trained 5th Brigade to crush perceived ZAPU dissidents in Matabeleland, killing over 20,000 Ndebele civilians in a genocide of rape, torture, and mass graves. Declassified documents confirm Mugabe's direct orders, framing it as eliminating rivals like Joshua Komu. Survivors recount unyielding brutality, with no justice even today. In the 2000s, Mugabe's regime targeted MDC opponents, with thugs killing dozens amid elections. Amnesty International documented widespread torture and disappearances, underscoring a legacy of violence. Even allies weren't safe. Post-Mujuru, Joyce faced baseless assassination plot accusations from Mugabe himself. Mujuru's death, like these precedents, reveals Mugabe's Zimbabwe as a theater of political Darwinism, where survival demanded eliminating threats, real or imagined. While direct evidence against Mugabe in Mujuru's case remains elusive, the circumstantial web, bolstered by his history, substantiates claims of complicity. Mugabe died in 2019, unrepentant, leaving a nation grappling with unhealed wounds. As Zimbabwe moves forward, acknowledging these truths is essential for reconciliation, lest history repeat under new guises.